Why, hello there. Welcome back to my daily long play stream. This is why I do a playthrough of my current game for a couple hours a day, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from Wednesday through Sunday. I'm doing a slightly different thing than what I usually do on this channel. I'm doing a series I guess I'm calling Learning to Fly with Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm just sort of learning to fly with this thing, this not quite a game, and yeah, I started this yesterday. I played through a little bit of the tutorials, started out doing okay, and then started not doing so okay, and I also spent way too much time fiddling around with like how to change the look on the change it to an inverted look on the camera, and I failed to do that. But I'm back here again. I seem to be losing the stream. Something's up with this game. I don't know what's going on here, but it seems to cut out periodically, like there. Let me back out of here, and maybe I can see if I can get this to work again. Always a great sign of someone who knows what they're doing when that happens. Alright. I'm gonna have to close this completely and reopen it. Hopefully this fixes it. I was hoping I'd be able to use like the quick resume on a regular basis, because one of the things I saw on the video from the good folks at Digital Foundry on this game is that it has a long loading screen at the beginning, a long load time, and I was hoping I could use quick resume to negate that, but maybe not. I don't know. So while it's loading up here, I can talk about what I was able to get started earlier today, at least before I started streaming this, that I downloaded some more free stuff. Because you know me, I'm not going to pay for this stuff. I downloaded the free Top Gun Maverick thing. I downloaded the Pelican from Halo Infinite. And I downloaded some updates. Apparently there are world updates for this game, and one of them was for the US. So maybe I'll be able to pop back in and check to see like how recent these updates are. Because flying around the area that I live in Metro Detroit, I noticed that a number of things are quite out of date. So that's one of the things I'd like to find out, if they had improved that at all. And I have a bunch of other downloads as well for other parts of the world, not all of them, because I at some point want to actually start playing this game. But yeah. We're going to yeah. Downloads have started in the background. I wonder if I can go to my go to Content Manager. Okay, here we go. So yeah, the USA one says it's up to date, so that's good news. So yeah, let's while this other stuff is continuing to why does this say pending? I have to figure that out later. Maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't like downloading after I restarted it. I don't know. In any case, let's back out here, and I'm just gonna go back into some basic flight training. I'm 47% of the way through here, and yeah, lately I've not been doing as good, but hopefully I can get better. I'll probably end up going back to some of the earlier ones to try to improve my score. But not yet. Not yet. Here's my Cessna. Your basic starter aircraft. I wonder if this is a good starter aircraft in real life. Not that I'm in a position where I could even consider such a thing. I don't think I would even want to, either.
Let's talk about the throttle. If you have the need for speed, then the throttle's for you. Full control over the power output of the engine. In the Cessna 152, that relates directly to the RPM displayed on the tachometer.
Which is all the way over to the
Pull
right.
back on the throttle to reduce RPM to 1800.
Maintain cruise altitude. Set to 1800 RPM.
Look how your speed and altitude are also decreasing.
Oh, right. Your altitude decreases with speed. Okay,
Excellent.
I got it. I think.
Okay, let's throttle back up to 2400 RPM.
Does it really have to be that specific?
Your speed is increasing now.
Yeah, it
As
is.
long as you maintain the same attitude, your altitude will keep climbing as well.
Alright.
Keep working on it, you'll get better.
I guess that's to demonstrate that as you increase speed, your altitude also increases, right? It's actually slightly easier to do this, to check the instrumentation when you're outside of the plane like this in the chase, the external view. Looking at that, I know it's not realistic at all, but still. Okay, it's not giving me an objective, but it's also not ending the thing here. Does it want me to restart? I don't know. Okay, here's an actual compass. Alright, that's good to know. Wow, it takes some precision to highlight these specific buttons here. The communications buttons. And just think, this is probably the simplest aircraft in this
Left the
game.
training airspace, you need to go back.
What are you beeping at me for? I've only left the training airspace because the training hasn't stopped for some reason. I'll restart it.
Let's talk about the throttle. If you have the need for speed, then the throttle's for you. Full control over the power output of the engine. In the Cessna 152, that relays directly to the RPM displayed on the tachometer.
Okay.
Pull back on the throttle to reduce RPM to 1800. Look how your speed and altitude are also decreasing.
Yep.
That's okay. Okay, let's throttle back up to 2400 RPM. Your speed is increasing now. As long as you maintain the same attitude, your altitude will keep climbing as well. Nice.
Yeah, this definitely seems like it's a, you definitely, don't have the fine control you need to set the RPMs to a specific level that you want with this controller here. And just like it was before, it does not seem to be ending. Alright, yeah. What do I do? Do I go in here? Why in the...
You left the training airspace. You need to go back.
Interesting, it's not letting me, here we go. Controls here are quite fiddly. This was something that they mentioned in the Digital Foundry video on this, was that the interface on this is very much designed for a mouse in mind. And they didn't really do much effort into adapting it for the console and with a controller. So keep that in mind. It's gonna be a little awkward. And I know awkward. That's exactly what I am. But, yeah, this training mission is not ending. They tell me if I'm leaving the training area, and to tell me to go back, but they don't give a marker as to where that actually is. I mean, I can just, exit out it to the main menu, but I don't think it's going to count that as having been completed. Yeah, it didn't. I mean, I can try it again. Almost seems like I'm doing something wrong, but I don't think I am. I know.
Let's talk about the throttle.
Try one more time, and then if it doesn't work this time, I'll move on to something else.
For you. Full control over the power output of the engine. In the Cessna 152, that relates directly to the RPM displayed on the tachometer. Pull back on the throttle to reduce RPM to 1800.
Problem is that it overshoots it. If you just let off the button for either to increase or decrease it, and when it hits where you want it to go, it keeps going. Some carryover.
Look how your speed and altitude are also decreasing. That's okay. Okay, let's throttle back up to 2400 RPM.
I can hit 2500 RPM pretty easily, but it's like, oh, they want it to be 2400 RPM.
Your speed is increasing now. As long as you maintain the same attitude, your altitude will keep climbing as well. Keep working on it, you'll get better. I think a bit more practice may be a good idea.
At least it ended this time. Alright. So, precise control of the RPMs and also maintaining altitude are a couple of my issues here. I think that by fiddling around with the sensitivity of the analog sticks, I might be able to have better controls over the altitude and such. I'll probably end up doing that if I keep having this issue. Straight and level flight. Oh, this is not going to be good for me. This might actually be a good time to try that. Do you think if you crash the plane, you get an F? Probably, right?
In this lesson, let's take a look at the relationship between attitudes and power settings.
There's nothing wrong with my
Attitude
attitude,
plus power
lady.
equals performance.
Dumb. I'm
We're
sorry.
currently at 5,500 feet in a cruise attitude. The aircraft's nose is positioned under the horizon, and cruise power is at 2,300 RPM.
Alright. Looks like 2,400 RPM to me, but okay. Actually, looks like
Try to reduce power to
2,450.
2,000 RPM while maintaining 5,500 feet. probably noticed, to maintain altitude, you need to pitch the nose up.
Yeah, I did notice that.
You could just keep pulling on the yoke to hold steady, but that's not really a precise means of control.
You have a better option?
Probably better to adjust your trim wheel until you don't need to push or pull on the yoke. Drag the trim down when you need to set the nose up. Drag it up to set the nose down. Try adding trim to keep us at 5,500 feet without increasing throttle.
Add trim. Was it right bumper and, what?
You put your plane in a dangerous situation. You probably noticed, to maintain altitude, you need to pitch the nose up.
I don't understand what just happened.
You could just keep pulling on the yoke to hold steady, but that's not really a precise means of control. Probably better to adjust your trim wheel until you don't need to push or pull on the yoke. Drag the trim down when you need to set the nose up. Drag it up to set the nose down. Try adding trim to keep us at 5,500 feet without increasing throttle.
I'm using right bumper. Okay, come on. What? I had it. The game's like, nope, you don't. Well, what am I doing wrong? The lack of clear instructions about this is a little infuriating. I'm guessing this is some sort of auto leveling.
Keep working on it. You'll get better.
I got it eventually, but it's not going to give me a good grade for that. $5,500 RPM, or 5,500 feet.
You're too high now.
I know that.
Increase power to 2,300 RPM while maintaining 5,500 feet. Get us back to a cruise attitude. That's okay.
That's
Now,
okay.
adjust the trim. You put your plane in a dangerous situation. Now, adjust the trim. Trim the aircraft to maintain 5,500 feet. Keep working on it. You'll get better. Additional practice will help, don't worry.
Hopefully.
The way I was taught, when you adjust the trim, you make course changes at first to remove pressure on the yoke. Then small adjustments to find the perfect setting to keep your desired attitude. If you feel your pitch slipping and need to get back to the proper attitude, don't worry. Just pull on the yoke, then dial in the right trim. That's the key to straight and level flight.
So, plenty of room for improvement, I guess. Looks like this is the last one of this section. What do we got here? Elevators. Alright. This looks like it's going to be a jam-packed one, doesn't it?
The art of maneuvering a plane through the air isn't a mystery to you anymore. Now it's time to test the skills you've learned. As you can see, we're cruising at 6,000 feet on a north heading of 360 degrees. Start by descending to 5,500 feet while maintaining a northerly heading.
So, 5,500 feet.
While descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed. If your speed is in the yellow arc of the airspeed indicator, reduce throttle to idle and pull gently on the yoke to slow down.
Also not heading north, actually. Need to adjust that, so I'm heading north. $5,500 RPM.
That's good. Now climb to 6,000 feet and turn to a south heading. On the Cessna 152, you need full power to climb effectively.
Good thing my natural instinct was to hit the gas. 6,000 feet. Heading south. So basically, turn this plane completely around while also raising your altitude. Okay, I
Your
did nothing.
speed was well managed, but your altitude needs to be more accurate. You did well, but you can do better.
Can I now? I don't know if I share your confidence, but I got a B. That's an improvement over what I've been getting. Guess I'll take that. Not gonna say no to it. That was the last one of this section, so I guess I could redo those ones if I wanted to, or I could try the other stuff. Takeoff landing, VFR, visual flight rule, what? Airline training. Yeah. Airliner training. Bush pilots. Alright. I guess let's do takeoff and landing.
Let's take a moment to talk about taxiing. Taxiing refers to moving the aircraft on the ground under its own power. In particular, getting from the ramp out to the hold short point on the edge of the runway. Steering on the ground is managed through the rudder pedals. That's
Left and right trigger.
Unlike driving a car, we turn by using our feet. Okay, ready? With the throttle idle, release your parking brake. Okay. Now, gently increase throttle to get the aircraft moving. All right. Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway. As you increase power, watch the tachometer and make sure to stay around 1,000 RPM.
Trying to get as close as it'll let me go.
Now test the brakes.
I'll hold X.
Good. Brakes checked. Taxi to the next exit, then come to a stop. Remember to control your speed with throttle and brakes. See the crossing in front of us? Stop before it as if traffic was coming off the runway.
Guess I have to release the brake first. It's not moving. There we go. Okay, so I guess it wants me to stop inside the box, not before it. Alright. Come on.
Alright, taxi to holding point Alpha 1 next. It's at the far end of the airport near the head of runway 21. Stay as close as possible to the taxiway center marked by the yellow line, and watch your speed.
Finding it quite difficult to maintain a specific RPM here. I mean, maintaining it's not the issue, it's setting it, I should say. Alright, yeah.
After the right turn, come to a stop before the hold short point and prep for takeoff. Remain on the taxiway center line. You don't want to risk damaging the aircraft. The next challenge will be to keep the aircraft under control while at full throttle for takeoff.
Okay. There's no option there to go to the next one, apparently. It's a little strange how they're using nautical terms for flying. I assume that's realistic or accurate, at least for this style of plane, but still a little strange. I don't know. I guess that more speaks to my lack of knowledge on this than anything else.
There's an old saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today.
Okay.
Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear. Check to the right to see if a vehicle is on the runway, and to the left to make sure no other planes are approaching. Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. Now slowly taxi onto the runway and align the plane with the center line. Then stop your plane just after the number 21. Not bad. All right, let's do this. Apply full power and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go. Use your rudders to stay on the center line and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots. Good. Now gently pull back on the yoke.
I do believe we are
Pull
airborne
back
now.
on the yoke to take off. And we're airborne. Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple of inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. Focus on flying straight. Use your rudders to keep the runway heading of 210 degrees. Maintain 75 knots and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time.
All right.
Okay, 5,500 feet. You've reached your target altitude. That was a nice takeoff.
I did something right for once. And I got an A! Yay! Alright, let's do some, flying around. I want to see if I can have access to these, any of the, routes. I want to see if I can find this pelican. These are apparently the planes I have access to at the moment, right? Look at that, there it is. Alright, let's try flying a pelican. Because that's a little redunculous, isn't it? Let's go from flying a very basic aircraft as a beginning to flying a sci-fi futuristic thing that can go into space. That also doesn't actually exist. Hi, Garumba.
Detroit Metro Tower Delta 77, Tango Charlie, at runway 27 right, ready for departure, departing straight out.
Sitting on the wrong side of the plane, apparently. Oh. Apparently this takes off like a helicopter.
Tango Charlie leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Detroit Metro Tower Delta 77, Tango Charlie frequency change. Cleveland Center Delta 77, Tango Charlie is type 1 miles east of Detroit Metro, 4,100 feet. Request flight following.
Delta 77, Tango Charlie, Cleveland Center. Squawk 2157.
Squawk 2157, Tango Charlie.
Tango Charlie radar contact 1 mile north of Detroit Metro, 8,400 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
Roger, Tango Charlie.
Alright, sorry, this is more like flying a helicopter than a plane. I don't know if I, expected that. Yeah, getting this thing to, wow. Getting this thing to, turn seems to be impossible. let's excel here and try it again with a regular plane and not a futuristic, apparently flies like a helicopter vehicle. Alright, where's the easy Cessna? Where'd that thing go? Alright. Apparently I've lost it. In more ways than one. I don't know. Maybe this is the Cessna. I think you would have said that, but whatever. I'll try other planes eventually. I just want to, I want to test out to see if these updates have actually applied and if they made any changes.
Detroit Metro Tower Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf.
This is
Sierra
not the
ready
same
for
play I
departing
was
straight
in
out
earlier, but
runway
that's alright.
27 right.
This one's a little more squirrely. We turn off the objectives. I'm not interested in doing that stuff right now. A one-person aircraft. I got a little map on the bottom right, on the right there. I mean, and this one is much more squirrely.
X-Ray Golf Sierra, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Detroit Metro Tower Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra frequency change. Detroit Approach Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is type Cub Crafters CC 19 3 miles northeast of Detroit Metro, 3,200 feet. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Detroit approach. Squawk 6277.
Squawk 6277 Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra.
I don't like this one as much. I like the cockpit design. I like that as a little mapping, but it's too squirrely to fly.
3,700 feet. Cleared through the Bravo airspace. Maintain on navigation.
cleared through the Bravo airspace, Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Doesn't want to seem to fly level. Trying to adjust the trim here.
X-Ray Golf Sierra traffic is 3 o'clock 4 miles at 2,500 feet generic. Report them in sight.
Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra traffic in sight.
There we go. It's not letting me adjust it so it flies level.
Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra contact Detroit approach on 132.35. Good day.
132.35, Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra. Detroit approach Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra 7,200 feet.
Trying to get it so it
Cub
stops
Crafters Alpha Sierra
climbing.
X-Ray Golf Sierra Detroit approach altimeter 29.92. Continue as planned.
Slow down the rate of descent. I'd like to see if I can just stop altogether. Ascent on that. Maintaining and altitude, any altitude. Close. That was close. Too far. Well, if they had updated any part of this area, there's still nothing. So far, nope. Lulu's Arena is still there. Well, not in real life. Oh well. It just said USA map updates. It didn't specify what part.
Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra contact Detroit approach on 13 for decimal tree. Good day.
Going to 1 tree for decimal tree, Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra. Detroit approach Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra 9,200 feet.
Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Detroit approach altimeter 29.992. Continue as planned.
This is a good looking game. I don't know how much of that is coming across in the stream. I'm playing this on Xbox Series X. Yeah, it's pretty good. Although it does look a lot like Google Earth, which I suppose makes sense because you're looking at the Earth. Over Belle Isle now. Wish I'd gone there more this summer. Oh well, always next year. I did go there twice. That's something, right?
Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra, you're leaving my airspace radar service. Terminated squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra. Cleveland Center Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is type Cub Crafters CC-19 4 miles south of Detroit 10,200 feet. Request flight following.
Cub Crafters Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Cleveland Center. Squawk 1434.
Squawk 14 for Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Cub Crafters X-Ray Golf Sierra radar contact 4 miles southeast of Detroit 10,500 feet. Altimeter 29.992.
Roger
It's a
Cub
city
Crafters
airport
X-Ray
that
Golf Sierra.
does not fly passenger
Delta
planes as far as I
2474
know.
contact Cleveland Center on 132.45. Good day.
Good day. Alright, it's, yeah, they did not update this area. Who knows, maybe I have to, like, restart the, game in order to do that, but I thought I already did. Alright. Gonna go back to the flight training section and do some more of those courses. Dead stick landing. Alright. Is that where you're just landing without engine power? I think they mentioned that in an episode of The Crown, where Prince Philip was learning to fly and he had to do a dead stick landing with Captain Townsend at the helm. Or whatever.
For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does. We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back.
Okay.
Now focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Well done, but there's room for improvement. Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing.
Okay. I thought I did worse than that. Apparently I didn't. I don't know. They really should add a button on there to allow you to go to the next chapter. Yeah, I feel like it'd make this process a lot more streamlined and, easier. I don't know. Land without elevator. Okay, we'll see what that means. Yeah, this aircraft is a lot easier to fly than that squirrely one. I haven't the slightest clue how to even turn in the Pelican.
In this landing exercise, I want you to focus on staying on the glide path using the throttle only. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path. If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it. Remember though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate.
How do I know when I'm aligned with the runway other than the little thing indicating it?
Now you can use the elevator to land. Reduce throttle to idle. Now focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop.
I don't think I did that right at all.
You did well, but you can do better.
Alright. I don't think I did a single thing that the game wanted me to do. But I'll take it, somehow. Alright, Imagine all this would be a lot scarier and more stressful if you tried to do it in real life.
My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 10 degrees of flaps and idle power. Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare.
Is the altimeter accurate enough to indicate when I'm 10 feet above the runway? Yeah, it's so hard for me to keep track of where my airspeed indicator is on this thing. Right. Almost as hard as it is to align with the runway, or stay aligned with it.
Reduce throttle to idle. Now focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. You did well, but you can do better.
All right.
Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing.
All right. I was actually close to an A. Wonder what I would have needed to have done to get that, but whatever. Let's take a look at the, next one. Looks like it wants me to follow a specific flight path. You think it's going to put boxes in the air for me to fly through, or gates? I don't know. It's probably not, right?
Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. Reduce speed to 80 knots. Maintain constant altitude and heading. The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current altitude.
Ah, too much stuff to keep track of.
We're gonna fly past the end of the runway here. Keep going until you see it at a 45-degree angle behind you. That's your cue to turn left onto the base leg.
My speed keeps dropping, and I'm trying to maintain 80.
Turn left onto the base leg.
I'm turning. Turning.
Try to maintain 1400 RPM. That'll also keep our speed around 65 knots. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn. Turn left onto final. Make your left turn onto final.
Turning.
Keep a stabilized approach and prepare for landing.
I'm holding. I'm holding B, and it's not slowing down.
Apply the brakes and stop the plane.
Nope, I failed. Yep.
Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. Reduce speed to 80 knots. Maintain constant altitude and heading. The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current altitude. We're gonna fly past the end of the runway here. Keep going until you see it at a 45-degree angle behind you. That's your cue to turn left onto the base leg.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. The game's giving me too many instructions at once. Yeah, I'm not getting this one. It's like the speed seems to go up or down for reasons I don't understand, and same thing for my altitude. Trying to just focus on one, and the other one goes out of whack. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing, but eventually I will, maybe, if I keep trying. In any case, let's go back to the world map, pick a different spot to fly from, I guess. And maybe pick a different plane. Now this doesn't say anything about Cessna. This is probably not the plane I used in the training mission. What should I do? This is the coolest looking plane here. Look at that. Let's cruise. Yeah, let's try this one, I guess. Might as well just stick to the airport I'm used to. Oopsie doodle.
Metro Tower, Experimental Alpha, Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, ready at runway 27 right, straight out departure.
This is basically not the SR-71, but something similar to it. Alright.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Detroit Metro Tower, Experimental Alpha, Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, frequency change. Cleveland Center, Experimental Alpha, Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, is type Experimental Darkstar.
This is a much faster plane, obviously.
Request flight following.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, Cleveland Center. Squawk 720.
Alright, so let's take a look. Where should I go?
Squawk 7205, Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra, radar contact 4 miles east of Willow Run, 9,800 feet. Altimeter 29.92.
Roger, Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra.
If I could pull up Google Maps while flying. Let's see here. there's the compass indicating which direction I'm pointing in.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Cleveland Center on 126.75. Good day.
126.75.
And what I'd like to try is flying to Chicago.
Cleveland Center, Experimental Alpha, Sierra Delta,
can.
Kilo Sierra, 14,200 feet.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Cleveland Center altimeter 29.9 to continue as planned.
Apparently I'm flying at Mach 1. This thing can fly faster than that, though. Just hold down the A button.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Cleveland Center on 120.45. Good day.
120.45 Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Cleveland Center, Experimental Alpha, Sierra Delta, Kilo Sierra, flight level 190.
It's a strange
Experimental
looking
Alpha Sierra
aircraft.
Delta Kilo Sierra Cleveland Center continue as planned.
Make my directions to
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Chicago Center on 127.55. Good day.
127.55 Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Chicago Center, Experimental Alpha, Sierra Delta, Kilo Sierra, flight level 245.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Chicago Center continue as planned. Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Chicago Center on 128.5. Good day.
128.5 for Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Chicago
There's Lake
Center,
Michigan
Experimental
approaching.
Alpha, Sierra Delta,
I am
Kilo
going
Sierra,
fast
flight level
indeed.
225.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Chicago Center continue as planned.
That must be Grand Rapids right there.
Niner contact Chicago Center on 127.55. Good day. Wisconsin
Going 1,500 miles an hour here.
Descend and maintain
15
10,000
knots,
feet. Expect
1,500
ILS runway
knots,
26 left approach
1550.
via Victor India Oscar transition. Clear to Victor India Oscar. 127.55 for Hex Airline Tree 29er.
How fast will this thing go? Going Mach 3.63. Yeah, I'm going faster than an SR-71 here.
0,000 feet, expect ILS runway 26 left approach via Victor India Oscar transition cleared to Victor India Oscar Wisconsin tree 875. Wisconsin tree 875 contact approach on 124.6. Good day. Going to 124.6 Wisconsin tree 875. Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Chicago Center on 125.1. Good day.
125.1 for experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Chicago Center, experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra flight level 195.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra
I
Chicago
do not
Center.
see
Continue as planned.
Chicago. I must be flying well north of it, right? On aircraft. It's a little too easy to overcompensate in this thing. Making minor course altitude corrections is quite difficult. That's not Chicago. Question is, are we north of it or south? I think that's Chicago north of here.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Chicago Center on 133.3. Good day.
Going to 133.3 experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Chicago Center, experimental Alpha Sierra.
Oh yeah, I
Delta
recognize
Kilo
the
Sierra flight
river
level
there. That is
245.
definitely Chicago.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Chicago Center altimeter 29.9 to continue as planned. Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Milwaukee approach on 125.35. Good day.
Alright. Well, I sort of flew from Detroit to Chicago in what, about 15 minutes?
Milwaukee approach experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra 8,400 feet.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Milwaukee
And I kept
approach
myself from
altimeter
crashing, so that's also
29.9
good
to
news.
continue as planned.
Alright, so I guess
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact
I'm
Chicago
almost done
Center on
streaming for today,
133.3.
but before I do,
Good day.
let's just go as fast and as high as this thing will
for
let me.
experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Chicago Center, experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra 15,800 feet.
See if I can trigger a sense of vertigo here.
Kilo Sierra Chicago Center. Continue as planned. Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Chicago Center on 127.0. Good day.
Going
Yeah,
to
I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that,
127.0 experimental Delta Kilo Sierra.
training mission that I apparently got stuck on,
Chicago
but
Center, experimental Alpha Sierra Delta
have to
Kilo
figure that
Sierra
out.
flight level 495.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Chicago Center. Continue as planned.
continued as planned. There's no plan here. What are you people talking about? Think I can just point this at the moon and fly there? Wow, the cockpit view is of no help at all there.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Minneapolis Center on 124.4. Good day.
Good day.
124.4 for Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Minneapolis Center, Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Flight
Oh,
Level
yeah, that's the blackness of
1345.
space there, folks.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Minneapolis Center, continue as planned.
Still going over, almost going Mach 4. Alright, where's the hyperdrive on this thing? Excuse me, the warp drive. I don't think it has one. Yeah, the game's glitching out a little bit. It does not like me doing this. The altimeter has stopped going up. Congratulations, I broke the game. Awesome. I also don't appear to be moving in relation to the Earth. The ground, I mean.
Good day.
125
Kinda hard to
decimal
tell.
tree Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Minneapolis Center, Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Flight Level 1345.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Minneapolis Center, continue as planned.
So it stops at what, 275,000 feet is the ceiling of this game. Sorry folks, we're not going to get to go to the moon today. Not in this game anyway. Pretty sure this is the plane that can fly the fastest and the furthest in the game. Certainly of the ones I have access to at the moment, anyway. Well, folks, that was fun, but let's get back to the main menu here. And I think I'm going to call a stream here, folks. Yeah. But before I do, I'm going to take a moment to thank you for watching. And I appreciate when people take time out of their day to watch my streams, whether it be in live or in archive form. Just a quick reminder, I do a stream like this almost every day, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from Wednesday through Sunday. So tomorrow, I'll be back here with more Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll once again try that one training mission that I did not succeed at. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete that. That seems quite challenging, but we'll see. I'll give it the old college try. And I have been doing better at uploading those 4K HDR sample videos on Friday. One published earlier today, Sonic Colors, running on the Xbox Series X. And I'll keep that up as long as I can. But yeah, until then, I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for more Flight Simulator. And until then, take it easy.